You take a look around you, friend. You're in a Calivon zoo.
Egotastic FunTime.
Hey gang, I'm JP and welcome back to Talking The Orville on Egotastic FunTime. Today we're gonna have a great time, you guys, taking a deeper look at the world of the Orville by taking a trip to the Calivon Zoo from the episode Command Performance. In this episode, Ed and Kelly take a shuttle pod to what they believe is a Union spacecraft that has come under attack by the Krill. But it turns out that it's an elaborate trick by the Calivon, a race that regards other intelligent beings as mere entertainment. Ed and Kelly are kidnapped and transported back to what appears to be their old apartment in New York City, but is really just a human exhibit at a Calivon Zoo. Meanwhile, the inexperienced Alara is left in charge of the ship and doesn't know what to do and pisses off the crew when she decides to follow Admiral Tucker's orders to leave Ed and Kelly for dead instead of going on a rescue mission to save them. But Alara eventually finds the courage to defy orders and attempts the rescue anyway, using a genius compromise to get her crewmates back from the Calivon zookeeper by giving them access to all of Earth's reality television archives. You know, the biggest idiots in the history of the Alpha Quadrant. Command Performance was only the second episode from the Orville, and it's the episode that proved to me that the show isn't at all what we thought it was going to be. Sure, the pilot was a nice start, but it didn't really have heart yet. In my experience, it takes most shows about 4 or 5 episodes to get you hooked and really give you the feels. The Orville did it by episode dose. Alara dealing with her insecurities of being in command, the crew getting upset when she decided to not defy orders by the Admiral, Ed and Kelly's chemistry showing signs of being rekindled when they found themselves back in their old apartment was all great. But the exact moment that let me know that the Orville is what we've been waiting for a very long time now was this moment right here.
I have been given a direct order from the Fleet Admiralty to abandon the search for Captain Mercer and Commander Grayson. As far as I'm concerned, they can bite me because we're going anyway.
When Alara decided to defy orders and go try and get Ed and Kelly back, the crew's reaction was what did it for me. They all cheered and raced to their stations to get the mission started. It's been a long time since I've seen a hopeful and determined reaction like this coming from a crew in a sci-fi series. I believed in their desire to help their friends, to work together and do this thing. I know it sounds silly, but it really made the difference for me. Sci-fi that makes me feel good? What? I haven't had that since oh my god, since 90s Star Trek! Well, not the pilot episode of Deep Space Nine, obviously. The other thing that I loved about this episode is that it harked back to my other favorite TV show from back in the day, a show that unlocked this door with a key of imagination, a series that moved me into a land of both shadow and substance and crossed me over into the Twilight Zone. Bum, 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 I'm of course talking about the giant Calivon Zoo that Ed and Kelly found themselves trapped in to be viewed as entertainment by visitors like animals. The entire Calivon Zoo, by the way, was constructed inside the set of the Orville Shuttle Bay. This is all reminiscent of a famous episode of The Twilight Zone entitled People Are Alike All Over, where astronaut Sam Conrad, played by pipe layer Roddy McDowall, is the lone survivor of a crash landing on Mars where he finds the native inhabitants, to his relief, to be very hospitable indeed. He might even get a little some from this hot little Martian lady. But there's a catch. The Martians feed him and recreate an Earth house for him to live in. All his needs are taken care of, but when he discovers he's unable to leave, he finds out it's because he's been placed in a Martian zoo where he's the latest exhibit. Turns out Martians are major dicks, just like the Calivon. And I'm guessing letting them know he's a spaceman didn't help either.
Hey, I'm a spaceman! You gotta let me out of here! I'm a spaceman!
The zookeeper was played by J.D. Cullen, who you might recognize as Taral, a Klingon warrior from the Next Generation episodes Redemption, Part 1 and 2. The Calivon makeup looked incredible, but the episode as a whole was a huge challenge for special makeup effects artist Howard Berger and his team, because they not only had to create all the red, big-headed Calivon, which were plentiful on set, but they also had to create other aliens that were kept in the zoo as well, including the spiny-skinned alien dude, the fish guy, Ock, and the a sad little refugee kid. They even had to use all of their movie magic skills to transform the actress from transparent into a man. Whoa, you can hardly tell that that's a woman. Another aspect of the episode that draws the viewer in is the bonding moment Ed and Kelly have while trapped in the facsimile of their apartment. They finally slowed down for a minute and begin to talk things out. They share a drink and a piece of cake and talk about their failed marriage and what might have gone wrong. This is when we realized, oh, okay, them being exes isn't just some fickle character plot added to create comedic friction between the two for the sake of some cheap laughs. Though it does take the show quite a few episodes to lighten up on those go-to reactions between Ed and Kelly, which is really smart though. We all want Ed and Kelly to be a team in the end. In fact, that's kind of their job description, being that they're the top 2 ranking officers aboard the ship. It just feels better to have the tension between the two come from a place of, oh, these two people love each other, but they also know one another so well that they can see through each other's crap. They're not together, but they love each other. Ah. Command Performance was directed by Robert Duncan McNeil and written by Seth MacFarlane himself, and was originally supposed to be the 4th episode in the season, but was moved to episode 2 when If the Stars Should Appear performed poorly with test audiences, which is ridiculous. Who the hell was their test audience? A tour bus of elderly bingo champions just traveling through from Sacramento on their way to Tijuana to buy prescription medicine at affordable prices because their health insurance cut them off because they claim being old is a pre-existing condition? We really need to make some changes to the American healthcare system. Command Performance had a huge impact on me when I watched it, you guys. It's the episode when I knew that Orville was going to be my new favorite thing, and I wanted to talk about it here on Egotastic FunTime. It's basically the reason I started doing Talking The Orville. It dealt with some great ideas. We got to see Alara go from a person with physical strength who's unsure of her own abilities to a more self-assured leader ready to pave the path to glory for her crew. We also learned that she can speak canine.
Woof.
Oh, before I forget, here's some behind the scenes trivia for you guys. 2 of the Calivon in the episode were played by Carrie Bryan and Tori Bellecci of Mythbusters. Here's a behind the scenes pic of Carrie Bryan in full Calivon makeup using her behind in costume. Oh, dropping that deuce reminds me, this is also the episode where we learned that mocklins reproduce by laying eggs.
If you got one more in you, dibs on the omelet.
Sir?
Sorry, bad joke.
Yes.
Okay, that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about today, and I talked about it. How about you? What was your favorite moment from Command Performance? Do you think we'll see the Calivon return in season 2 of the Orville? What do you think has happened to their culture now that they've been exposed to the Real Housewives of New Jersey? You can let me know what you think by joining the conversation below. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, and subscribing to my dumbass show. It really does mean the world to me. I'll see you very soon, and as always, I hope all your times are egotastic fun times. Love you, bye-bye!
Egotastic fun time, we're gonna have a great time. Egotastic fun time, give me all your money. Give him all your money. You will find it funny. Just give me money. I love money. Give me all your 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 money.